It's time for part 2 of the card draw challenge. What's going on, guys? If you want to support our content and pick up this month's amazing Patreon rewards, you can do so at patreon.com/itresolves. If you're interested in custom playmats and sleeves, visit YourPlaymat.com and use code ITRESOLVES10YP for 10% off your entire purchase. What is going on, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of the card draw challenge. Now, if you do not know what these challenges are, or if this is your first time here at It Resolves, first of all, welcome, we're happy to have you. But second, the challenge week is a little fun thing that we like to do to get you guys involved in the deck building process. What we do is we set a challenge each week, asking you all to build some decks with that challenge in mind. This challenge week is brought to you by, well, you guys, but essentially the idea is to draw as many cards as possible in a single turn. It does have to be a single turn. As such, the game is not about winning. The game is about completing the challenge to the best of your ability. Now, if you do have a deck submission that you would like to send to us, please feel free to do so. We have our Discord link down below. There is a challenge submissions channel for you, and that is the place to do it. This is, of course, part 2, our Wednesday episode. We normally do a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, but as such, Wednesday is the day that we actually announce next week's challenge. And next week's challenge, I think, is going to be a fun one. This one's going to be a little different because we are going to be counting the number of wins that we get, but it's a suggestion brought to us by one of you guys. J-Boss over in our Discord channel suggested that we make weird tribal decks. Now, when I say weird tribal decks, I'm not talking elves, goblins, anything mainstream. I want to see foxes, I want to see whales, I want to see crabs, I don't know, weird stuff like that. I want to see what kind of tribal decks we can create and have some fun with. Now, again, the goal is actually going to be to win the game. So we are going to be playing 3 games with each of those lists, and the one that wins the most of those games will be the winner. If we happen to have a tie, either a 2 or a 3-way tie, do not worry, all of you guys will be getting the prize, which, if you don't know what that prize is, it is a mystery proxy pack, usually only available to patrons, but we made it available here for you guys as a thank you for participating in these challenge weeks. But without further ado, guys, let's jump into today's deck. All right, and what a deck it is. This is Spinoraptor's draw submission, which is essentially just Temur Energy, actually, with a little bit of a twist. So Temur Energy is obviously just a really powerful deck. We have seen this do very, very well ever since its inclusion during Kaladesh, like that whole block. But it did get added to Arena with Aetherworks Marvel, which is an absolutely powerhouse card. The idea is to gain as much energy as possible. On turn 4, you drop this, hopefully be able to activate it right away. Look at the top 6 cards of your deck. You can cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost, put the rest of them on the bottom of your library in any order. The goal is to get something like Seagate Restoration, Ugin the Spirit Dragon, or Omniscience. Now, crucially, one little, I like this addition, Illuminate History, which is an interesting card. Obviously, we wouldn't normally play with this card in Temur Energy. It's not super powerful, albeit it could very easily in the game. But the idea is that this helps us draw some cards. Same with Seagate Restoration. Omniscience allows us to play the rest of our deck for free, and then Ugin essentially lets us draw 7 if we can ultimate. So again, the idea is to get these cards down very, very early to be able to take over. The rest of the deck is very energy focused. We do have Attune with Aether to help us get some basic lands, harness Lightning for a little bit of control burn. Woodweaver's Puzzleknot, gaining us a little bit of life and then providing us with some energy. Servant of the Conduit, again, providing us with some ramp and some energy. Clear the Mind allows us to shuffle our graveyard back into our deck and then draw a card, which is really, really helpful because we do plan to discard our hand with things like Illuminate History and then Valakut Awakening, which allows us to do a similar thing. Whirler Virtuoso here gives us some energy and can produce some tokens, and then Rogue Refiner enters the battlefield, gives us some energy, and draws us a card. So very, very solid list, one that we have seen do very, very well in Historic. I think the trick with this one, Spinoraptor, is solely going to be making sure the opponent doesn't concede too early, which I do think is something you do have to think about during these challenge weeks. So Spinoraptor, thank you so much. The number to beat is 12. We did have Breaded and Fried on Monday, giving us 12 cards in a single turn. So let's see if we can beat that today. We've got 3 games to go through. Let's go ahead and jump into the first one. All right, guys, and here we are for our first game. Do we like this hand? It's okay. It's not great, but we do have a Whirler Virtuoso, a couple of Aether Hubs, and a Harness Lightning. I'm going to try and keep it. We'll see how this one goes. I'm not super positive on this one, to be honest. This does have some energy producers, but the trick is we're probably going to have to use some of those mana producers early in the game, so we'll see. We will see. What I will actually do, though, is go ahead and play this tapped on turn 1. And the reason being, obviously, we don't have a turn 1 play. The opponent is down to 4 cards, which is kind of ridiculous. And so hopefully this Harness Lightning... Ooh, okay, that truthfully is like a massive help because one more land gets us to Aetherworks Marvel. And technically, that is a land. I mean, I think we just go here. The question is, do we want to go ahead and play the Whirler Virtuoso? I think so. It does net us a couple energy here, so it's definitely worth it in my opinion, and gets us up to 4. Crucially, something that we can do is just play Harness Lightning and not spend any of the energy. So that does actually gain us energy enough that we could play the Aetherworks Marvel. There is another... Ugin the Spirit Dragon. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and pay the life and go ahead and get this Aetherworks Marvel out. And actually, I'm not going to attack. I don't know exactly what they could have here, truthfully, but I do want to make sure that we are ready for anything, we will say. And plus, you know, the goal is to draw cards here. We got time, baby. We got nothing but time. Opponents... really not doing a whole lot. I'm assuming that mulligan to 4 was a pretty big hit, which is interesting. All right. We don't want to spend that mana, though. All right, so let's do this. We have to target egg creature, but we're just going to pay 0, confirm, and that just does nothing. So now we can activate Aetherworks Marvel. Oh, okay. We're gonna go Omniscience because it does get Ugin down. So that's gonna do pretty good things for us, I think, here. Let's go ahead. We can throw the Servant of Conduit out as well. And I'll go ahead and do this. Now, crucially, we still have only drawn... This is gonna be our second card. That's actually very helpful. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll get a basic... specifically green, not that it really matters, because we do have Omniscience on the battlefield. All right, not going to attack. We are going to try and keep them on the hook for as long as we can here. Oh, man, they gave up. Well, that's really sad. But still, 2 cards is what we got, Spinoraptor. Honestly, that's exactly what I'm thinking. We might run into that issue a good bit with Temur Energy. But you know what? It's a really solid deck. I'm enjoying it. Let's go ahead, jump into game 2. All right, guys, the name of the game is keeping the opponent in the game, which sounds a little odd, but here we are. This is an interesting hand. We are going to keep it. We've got the double Harness Lightning, so if we do need to just kind of burn some stuff off early, we can. And we do have a number of lands here to help get to the Aetherworks Marvel. I'm going to go ahead and play the Aether Hub. It's not super great for us in like the long term, but we don't have to spend energy to play the Harness Lightning, so that's actually pretty good for us. And here, I think it's just clearly a breeding pool and pass. Not doing a whole lot here, but they obviously do know that we are on energy. The only reason we would play the Aether Hub is for that reason. And the question becomes, do we want to kill this? And I think the answer, honestly, is no. I don't particularly want to kill this. So let's do this. Let's just double check. Okay. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and play Aetherworks Marvel. Not going to be able to play this right away, obviously, albeit next turn we very easily could if we'd like. And if we can get Omniscience, we can get Seagate Restoration down, we could do some really cool stuff. Oh, no! Well, thankfully, we do have a supplemental Aetherworks Marvel here. We just have to hope they don't have another Angrass Rampage. So, actually, not the end of the world, but it is something we should think about. It might be worth it to hold up the Harness Lightning first here and see how things go. All right, we could wait on Seagate Restoration. Alternatively, we could go ahead and play it, but we really only need 4 mana. So I think what I'm going to do is pass. Now, hear me out here. Here's my thought. If they activate the Hacker Bat and get it down to 1 toughness, which would be great, then what we can do is essentially burn it out for cheaper than we normally would be able to. We can actually just kill this too, which is kind of nice. So we can kill Volky. We could also kill the Hackerbat. We can do both here, which is pretty great. Interested to see what they do. Very interested to see what they do. Crucially, something to think about, guys. Ingress Rampage is not a instant speed spell. So, oh, this is perfect. I love this. Thank you so much for doing this. All right, we're going to pay 1 here. So we're going to net 2. And this is going to very, very easily set us up for the next turn. So we're going to pay 1, deal 1 to it, and then they're going to kill it in response. So that's pretty good. All right, and then let's go ahead and do this. And again, this is going to allow us to get exactly 6 energy, getting rid of their board and allowing us to then Aetherworks Marvel right away, which is pretty great. So let's do this. Here's the deal. We really want Omniscience here. And we found it. All right, perfect. Let's Seagate Restoration. This is going to draw us 4 cards. So we've drawn 5 this turn so far. So we need to keep this in mind because this is going to take some math. So we are at 5 so far. We'll go ahead and play the land since it doesn't truly matter. Let's Illuminate History, which is going to 2, 3, 4. Let's keep one of these. So we're going to discard 4, which is going to allow us to draw 4, which is going to put us up to 9. There's an Ugin. Let's go ahead and play the Puzzleknots here. That's very, very good for us. Go ahead and do this. Perfect. And let's clear the mind. This is going to get us up to 10. Whoops. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and click here. Sorry, I'm keeping track over here on my other computer, so I apologize. But now we can just Ugin for 0 and shoot him for 3. Now, we're not winning the game, crucially. There we go. Okay, I mean... All right, fair enough. I mean, Spinoraptor, to be fair, we got 10 in that one turn, so we are getting closer. We only need 2 extra cards and we would have been there. Also, I should mention, before we jump into Game 3, if you guys notice that I miscounted anything, that could very well happen, especially with this kind of challenge. Just give me a heads up. I'm happy to relook at it and make sure that we get it corrected. That way, you know, the one that wins actually wins. So, regardless, let's go ahead and jump into Game 3. And here we are for Game 3, facing off against Avacyn herself. What a match. Yeah, I mean, this is a very easy keep, honestly. This is about perfect. We do probably want to shock ourselves on turn 1, albeit it did play a snow-covered mountain here, which is a little scary. But let's get a red source, just to make sure that we've got some doubles up here. I think that's probably the best play. All right, red, black again. Interesting, very interesting. And a golden egg. I'm curious to see what this deck is, honestly. I have absolutely no clue. Let's do this, and let's go ahead and play the Servant. This is going to get us 2 energy, which is getting us very, very close to that ever-important 6 energy. Next turn, we can just throw out this Rogue Refiner, following that up on turn 4 with the Aether Hub and then Aetherworks Marvel. Little worried they could have something like a Thoughtseize. But it doesn't look like that's really their strategy. It looks like they're very artifact golden egg based, which is interesting. Very interesting. Okay, didn't expect that. Let's play Rogue Refiner here. It's gonna draw us a card, give us that 6 energy, and now we are well set up for the following turn. We could have actually utilized this to gain an extra energy here, but we don't need to, really. I'm gonna hold off and not tap this. A Honden as well. This is a very curious deck. All right, let's do this. We've got 7 energy here. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel with Aetherworks Marvel. Hopefully, oh, all of these are really, really good. But I do think the safe play is still Omniscience here. Let's Woodweaver's Puzzleknot. Before we draw, what we're going to do is attune with Aether as best we can, pull out as many lands as we can. This is going to give us a lot of energy and store up for the next turn. Crucially, attune with Aether does not count, by the way, as card draw, just as a heads up. We'll pay 1 here just to go ahead and get rid of this. It does net us energy anyway. And then I'm actually very happy to go ahead and shuffle and draw because, again, if we just get like a Seagate Restoration, we are set. I'll attack in here. There's no reason really not to, so why not? And now we really need some action, obviously, but I do think Omniscience is the enabler that lets this deck work. And so I'm all too happy to kind of get that going there. Ooh, okay. Let's go ahead and Aetherworks Marvel. All right, and I do think the play is just going to be Seagate Restoration, which is going to draw us 4 cards. So let's put this up to 5 this turn. We can play another Omniscience just because. Oh, actually, that was a mistake. Wow, that was a mistake. Sorry, Spinoraptor, we kind of messed up a little bit there, but that's okay. Let's discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, since we don't need lands. This is going to draw us 7 cards, which does put us back up to 12. Heck yes. That's very, very good. Oh, wow. Okay, so we can actually do this again. Let's do this correctly, though. Let's go ahead and play the Ugin first. Let's, I think, go ahead and do this. So this is going to discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards, which means we're going to draw another 5 cards, which puts us up to 17. Very, very solid. All right, we'll go ahead and do this. We can Harness Lightning here, which I think is probably the play, just to get rid of the Terror of the Peaks. Very happy to do that. Let's play you. It's going to give us all the energy we need. That is fantastic. And let's go ahead and target ourselves here. This is going to put us up to 18. Another Woodweaver's Puzzleknot. I cannot say that word. I'm so sorry. And I think we just hit them for 3 and then attack in. All right, so Spinoraptor, we are up to 18 cards in a turn. Again, double check my math, guys, but I do believe, Spinoraptor, that puts you in the lead, my friend. You are there, and it looks like we are going to pretty handily win the game here as well, potentially. We'll see what they have. They could very easily have something, but I think we are in a very safe place. We can't even crack one of these Puzzleknots, which I think is a good idea. It fills our graveyard, so if we do get to clear the mind once again, it's just more fuel for the fire at this point. So they could sweep. That would be about the only thing I could see them doing, but looks like they're probably just going to try and get Ugin down. Nope, they're not. All right, cool. Works for me. This does give us multiple energy sources here, which is very good. I mean, we're just going to do this, obviously. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll discard 1. That draws us 2. And there we go. All right, we did it, Spinoraptor. All right, let's chat through this list. All right, so Spinoraptor, first of all, congratulations, my friend. You are officially in the lead with 18 cards on 1 turn in that last game. That was a pretty killer turn. Breaded and Fried, I wish you the best of luck next time, my friend. You set a good, solid start for us on Monday, but unfortunately, Spinoraptor has taken it so far. We do still have the final version, or the final deck, going up on Friday, so do stay tuned for that. And again, if you would like to submit decks for either this challenge or next week's challenge, the Obscure Tribes Challenge, please feel free to do so in our Discord. But guys, I really appreciate it. Spinoraptor, congratulations. I love this list. Temur Energy is always a classic, tried and true. So I loved your variation on it. It was absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you will participate in these challenge weeks so you guys can win some of our awesome proxies. If you would like to pick up any of those proxies or digital altars, whatever you want to call them, at any given time, you can do so either on our Patreon or you can check out our website. We've got a few available in our store as well. But guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next episode of the challenge week.